Hello everyone, so welcome back to Get to Know the Goddess. Today I'm going to be talking about Parvati, so I'm particularly excited to talk about this goddess because it's the first one in the series that I've actually had some personal or separate experience with. Shiva Shakti, the Hindu archetypal energies for masculine and feminine, for the union that happens when we come together within ourselves, but also in union with our counterparts. We each have masculine energy and feminine energy within us, and we can display them more predominantly naturally because of society, because of our gender controls, but also about the way that we work through life. So some of us, myself included, have a lot of masculine energy in guiding them forward. So this energy of doing, of driving forward, of dynamic energy, that's masculine energy, and it's in women as much as it's in men. And we live in this patriarchal world where the masculine energy has been overvalued at the cost of the feminine energy. So Parvati is an archetype of the feminine energy, and she's this balance. She's the wife of Shiva, Shiva Shakti. She's one of his wives in the Hindu religion. And my training, my background started with yoga in India. So I use and resonate a lot with a lot of the Hindu mythology. So yeah, I'm excited to share a little more about Parvati with you today. So I showed you the picture of Shiva Shakti. As I say, they're often shown together as the concept of union. So when we, within ourselves, regardless of whether we're male or female, when we find union through the masculine and feminine energies, so when we balance the energies on the left and the right body, then we can come into union and we can connect to the divine union of consciousness, which is the happy marriage of both. And Parvati and Shiva are the happily married couple. Interestingly, the cards never fail to just make me smile, really. I have 4 cards and then a card at the bottom of the deck, but the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups are the bookends for the tarot cards that have come out. I haven't looked at the book yet. I will guide you through that afterwards, but I was just smiling because these are the 2 cards that come out when I do tarot card readings to symbolize the desire and the hope or the aspiration for stable married life. You know, both are family pictured here. The 10 is the end of the cycle. It's the building of, well, it's the end point of the building of foundations. It's stable, it's secure, and that is what the tradition of marriage can be about. It's not necessarily repression of one party, although it has been that, particularly in the West. Women sold through marriage, but traditionally, or not even traditionally, energetically, marriage can be union of 2 souls in balance coming together. You know, yoga is from the word yoke, which means to yoke, which means union. So the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups are this union, and it's union which brings abundance. You know, the coins in the 10 of Pentacles and the children in the 10 of Cups. You know, you've got these big houses, these colour, this satisfaction, this enjoyment of life, this full contentment and engagement that comes through union. And it doesn't just have to be through external union. The spiritual path is about bringing you home to yourself, regardless of your external circumstances. And you can experience union with the divine, union with both parts of yourself through your spiritual practice. Interestingly, Parvati, the card says the goddess of devotion. And I am a love that doesn't leave. When I commit to love, my soul evolves. And when I pulled the traditional tarot cards, the Knight of Swords was rushing past. We forget in our chase, in our drive to meet our soulmate, to meet our twin flame, to meet our better half, we forget that divine love is always there and we don't need to charge towards it. We don't need to pursue it. It's our birthright. So the Knight of Swords, I know the light's a little poor in these videos, but the Knight of Swords is this insane charge that some of us, myself included, can have in terms of trying to find ourselves in someone else. And when we run, when we chase, We lose that center point, and I've talked about this in these videos. The goddess is the center point. She's the magnet. She's the center of creation energy. She's magnetism, and she brings everything to her. And Parvati is saying, don't rush, don't charge, don't do anything. I'm right here with you. This love will never leave you. You just need to go within to find it. And that is the spiritual path. And once you realize your birthright, once you realize you have the capacity to love yourself first and foremost, you then will magnetize relationships to you that will be healthier, more loving, more on that vibration. We can't fix ourselves externally. We can't fix ourselves in a relationship. In fact, in my experience and those around me, if you're conscious enough, when you go into a relationship, it actually brings more work for you to do. It's very easy to think that you've got yourself figured out, you know, and that you're centered and that you're loving. But when someone else comes along and challenges that, and then there's compromise or a different perspective, that's when you have to show love for yourself and love for that other person. And Parvati and Shiva, they had this marriage that lasted for eons. They were together. They respected each other's differences. You know, Parvati was just, she was the dutiful wife, and she knew that Shiva needed to go off and meditate alone for eons, and then he would come back and they would be together in union for eons. You know, there was this unconditional love and understanding in their relationship about what they were here for. And no one is here to be your better half. They can be a complement to your life. They can walk side by side along you. They can help you evolve and grow. But they're not here to fix you, and they're not responsible. And they're not responsible for improving you, and they're not responsible for bringing you down. That's your choice. And union, conscious union, is about choosing a partner, choosing union with something that's going to evolve you consciously through your own work. And the Ace of Pentacles is here. And this is the new start, the new beginning. Abundance is always there. You know, we have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. And in the way the Western world works, you know, people marry and they get divorced and they can think that they've had their opportunity for love. But there is always love. There's always more. There's always restarts. So no matter how many broken hearts you've had, it isn't a value on your right to love. It's just an experience to go through, to learn the lessons from it, and to make a consciously healthier choice next time around, because there's always a next time. The Ace comes after the 10. It's the new cycle that begins. But we have to learn how to believe in love regardless of the conditions around us. That's also unconditional love, to trust in it regardless of the external conditions, and to know that there's always going to be new opportunity. And if your experiences, if your current relationships are not in balance and they're not satisfying, then you have the choice to do the work. It's not about running away. It's not the Knight of Swords to pack your bags and flee. It's about to look inwards. And what could you be learning from this relationship that you've brought into your life? What can you learn from this experience of union, for better, for worse? Okay, and the bottom of the deck is the Lover's card, which I again smiled at, because this is all about love and partnership and the choice. We have the choice to look for, you know, people talk about earthly pleasures like they're a bad thing, and the devil in Christianity is our sexual nature. And Shiva and Parvati made love for eons in caves, out in the open. It was pure form of self-love, expression and union. And there's a whole concept of sacred sexuality and sacred union, where when you bring your Kundalini energies together, the spiritual, sexual energy, then you can reach divine love and orgasm and bliss. But to do that, there is a pure state needed, the woman in the white. We do have to get past the animalistic, carnal, immediate gratification of union, of sex, of relationship, of that lust, of that temporary hit or high that we get when we see someone attractive and we just want them there and then. Union is longer lasting than that. It has a purer foundation of committing to someone, as I say, for better, for worse, for the full experience. It's not this, this makes me think of fire and instant passion that will burn out. We have the choice with the Lovers card about which type of relationship we want to have and which experience we want to have, and it isn't the other person's fault if we choose something that doesn't make us happy in the long term. It can be, difficult to turn away from fire, passion, and I'm not suggesting that we should, but it's just understanding what that experience is likely to lead to. And if you want union, you want a conscious relationship, then you have to make the conscious choice to choose that in yourself and also in your partner. Okay, so I'm going to read from the book by Megan Watterson about Parvati. So she embodies the divine strength of devotion. She is the mountain that love becomes when we devote ourselves to another and to our own soul. She's the goddess of fertility, of love and devotion, and of divine strength and power. She's the gentle, nurturing aspect of Shakti, or feminine energy. She's part of a Tri-Devi, the trinity of powerful Hindu goddesses with Lakshmi and Sarasvati. Parvati means she of the mountains, and she was Shiva's wife. She holds his trident, and she was the mother of Ganesha, the elephant-headed god, who's the remover of obstacles, of inhibitions. Shiva lives with Parvati in a house on Mount Kailash, and their favourite pastime is discussing Hindu theology. It's one of the stories that Shiva saw Parvati doing movements in the morning, like natural flowing feminine movements to move her body in the morning, and that inspired him, because Shiva's the traditional yogi. It inspired him to formalize yoga with asana, pranayama, mantra, meditation that he then went out and taught. But it came from him viewing the feminine, relaxed movements. It's just a myth. Okay, so traditionally in India, a woman goes to live with her husband's family. So this reversal reveals Parvati's priority and power. By living on Mount Kailash, Shiva becomes part of Parvati's lineage. She is the bond that connects all human beings, a bond of love that helps our souls evolve. When we select this card, what is soft, gentle and nurturing like water can be far more powerful than what is inflexible and fierce. The energy of this mountain goddess is about the strength we can give and receive when we devote ourselves to the healthy bonds of love. Parvati is about the divine feminine potency of a being in calmness and being a benevolent presence, especially when something seems to threaten a deeply meaningful relationship. Transformation with this goddess calls for a softening. When a situation is hard and even painful, Parvati is suggesting that you allow your fist to unfold, open and release what you've clenched in fear or stress, and remember that your love is a mountain that cannot be moved, and that this is a bond that's holy and no human hands or words can ever break it. The answer of what's next or highest for you can be found through the subtle act of simply abiding, not reacting, not running, not hiding. A deep reservoir of power can surge up from within us when we choose to remain present, letting devotion inhabit us in moments when our ego has typically fled, infuses us with the capacity to transform all of our relationships. Devotion is not attachment. It's letting go of the illusion that you and this lover, this friend, this child or family member, this soul within you can ever really be separate from you. Devotion brings us home to the point and purpose of every relationship, love. A love that can never leave and that, like a mountain, can never move. A love that evolves the soul. I am a love that doesn't leave. When I commit to love, my soul evolves. So I do a lot of work with feminine empowerment. I, for one, dated in London, and there's a lot of apps, pressure, adverts, selling this true love, selling your soulmate, selling your better half, and that you need to go out there and make it happen. From my experience, the most important thing to work on is yourself, to find self-love, and then to vibrate that energy out. It's the power of the goddess to love yourself and worship yourself, and then allow your suitors to come knocking on your door. so easy for us to want our lives to be fixed, that we'll feel like we've come to a point where we can settle or smile or relax when we've met someone, or we've moved into union, married life, partnership, home life with someone. And it's a natural human urge to want it. But when we're looking outside of ourselves and waiting for that to fall into place, we're missing the opportunity, the benefit of being single, to do the work and cultivate, that loving relationship within yourself. You are the only person who's going to be with you always. With the best will in the world, your unions, your partnerships outside of you will last as long as they're going to last, for everything is temporary and nothing, regardless of the vows you make, nothing can be guaranteed apart from your relationship with yourself. So why not work on that? Why not choose to devote yourself to yourself? And that's when this vibration of love starts to shift. And you can develop more of an unconditional sense of love because you're filled up from within. You're filled up from the divine. And then your external human relationships don't have to be as meaningful in many ways, because you know that you have love regardless of whether or not you're single or in relationship. Okay, they are my words on Parvati, the goddess of devotion. I encourage you to worship yourself and to adore yourself as the goddess or the god that you are. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you soon with the next Get to Know the Goddess.